It's been another tough few days for the SNP. As our opponents are reveling in it, the hubris is off the scale. But look, the thing with the SNP is that people have always underestimated us, Harry, and we're going to come back bigger, better, and stronger, and surprise everyone once again.
Hello, this is Never Mind the Ballots, the politics show that everyone's talking about, with me, Harry Cole, and my team from The Sun. Joining me now is the leader of the SNP in Westminster, Stephen Flynn. Stephen, welcome to Never Mind the Ballots.
Hiya, Harry, how are we doing?
Enjoying the show up there?
It's been another tough few days for the SNP. As our opponents are reveling in it, the hubris is off the scale. But look, the thing with the SNP is that people have always underestimated us, Harry, and we're going to come back bigger, better, and stronger. And surprise everyone once again.
Isn't the fact that, wasn't it, that Humza underestimated the fact that he didn't have a majority? What was he thinking?
I actually think in terms of scrapping the deal with the Greens, he did the right thing, and public opinion would suggest that that was very much the case. But of course, as he admitted himself, he underestimated their response to it. It was a very strong and passionate and at times emotional response. And as a result, Humza decided to step aside. He took a pretty noble and honest decision to do that. He could have stopped to try and push things through the vote of no confidence this week, but in the interests of the Scottish people and the other ones who matter most here, he decided to step away.
Will he go down as, what's his legacy? He's going to go down, well, hopefully, touch wood, he will be the first SNP First Minister not to be arrested when he leaves office, but that's not quite the legacy I imagine he'd be hoping for. What's he got to show for his 13 months?
That was a bit unfair, was it not? I think for Humza, I expected better of you, Harry.
This is Never Mind the Ballots. You know you're here for it.
I know. Look, Humza's legacy is in many parts, but look, this is a government that he led, which is taking 90 to 100,000 children out of poverty, thanks to the Scottish Child Payment. And of course, on the world stage, he led the charge advocating for a ceasefire in Gaza when everyone else was still silent, when the Labour Party were still fully behind what the Prime Minister was saying. Our party leader took a different stance, and he'll be remembered rightly for that, as indeed Anas Sarwar himself highlighted in a very kind statement on the day of Humza's resignation.
Let's talk about the future. But the future looks a lot like the SNP past. It's going to go Salmond, Swinney, Salmond, Sturgeon, briefly Yousafzai, and then Swinney again by the looks of it. That doesn't exactly scream modern, vibrant leadership, does it?
Maybe. I hope that John takes it on, because Harry, as all your viewers know, and as you know as well, these are serious times. These are difficult times for the public, and they demand serious politics from serious politicians. They don't get much more serious, much better, much more experienced than John Swinney. He's a formidable operator, but importantly, in the Scottish context, our government is now going to be operating as a minority. John was the man in charge of Scotland's finances when we were previously in minority government. He's operated as Education Secretary in minority government as well. So he knows what he's doing. I think he can get folk around the table, get people, all parliamentarians, because it's incumbent upon all parliamentarians to work together now to deliver for the Scottish people. And I hope he puts his name into the ring. I'm not entirely sure if he is, but I would like that to happen for the reasons I've set out above.
Honest John is his nickname in the press, in the Scottish press this morning, described as Nicola Sturgeon's hitman. Is that what Scotland wants? More Sturgeon? Is he not just continuity Sturgeon?
John Swinney is very much his own man. He's someone who is loved by the SNP membership. He's someone who's massively respected across the political spectrum because of the relationships that he has built over the very many years he's been in office. Remember, he served in Westminster and indeed in Holyrood for a long time with distinction. He's someone who garners respect as soon as he walks into the room, and as I say, he's a formidable orator as well. And I think for Anas Sarwar and Douglas Ross, they'll be quaking in their boots at the thought of John Swinney being back in frontline politics.
Quaking their boots, or is he a bit of a caretaker? You know, why didn't you fancy a tilt at the top? You've engineered yourself into the leadership in Westminster. Why stop there?
It's not one for me. There's two reasons. Firstly, I think practically the leader of the party should be in Edinburgh so that they can become the First Minister of Scotland if that position is there to be taken on by an SNP leader. But secondly, Harry, as much as I enjoy my job down here and I've tried to do my best at it, and often received praise from the likes of yourself at certain points, I think I've got a lot of things to learn. I've got a lot of experience to go and get before I'm looking at doing something like that.
Little birdies up in Scotland who I've been chatting to prepare for this powerful interview say that you've just been plotting away. This is all about getting Swinney in there as a sort of stopgap until they can find you a nice safe seat in Holyrood, and then it's going to be the Stephen Flynn show. What do you say to that?
I don't know who you've been speaking to. Have you also been chatting to my family? Because other people have been saying that they've been phoning into radio shows saying I should be standing. No, look, it's important that we have a leader with experience, a leader who knows how to operate with minority government, and a leader who can provide reassurance and guidance to the public at what is a tough time for them. That's John. That's not me.
So you're not going to stand in Holyrood next time?
I wouldn't necessarily rule that out because I think all SNP MPs would like to go back home to Holyrood. So the one thing we would like to do, though, when we do that, Harry, is we'd like to be doing it as the last ever Scottish MPs because we have our independence. If that time doesn't come before then I'm sure myself and some of my colleagues
you lot have been saying that for a while now. I've been every election for about 40 years, right? Now, look, is it healthy, though, for there not to be a contest? Would you like to see a contest for the leadership? It's an important job. Another coronation. Coronations tend to go badly in British politics. Shouldn't there be a contest?
Well, I'm not sure the contest went particularly well last time around, if I recall correctly. But look, it's for party members to decide. Anyone can put themselves forward if they get the requisite support. I know that some folk are obviously considering their options. I would simply urge them to do what's in the interests of the public, what's in the interests of the party, and let's get ourselves talking about the economy, about jobs, about the NHS, and about the cost of living crisis, and the things that we've done, the good things we've done, and the good things we've got planned for the future.
We'd like to see Kate Forbes throw a hat in just to liven up the race again.
I know Kate really well. Yeah, I know, and I know Kate really well. She's a formidable in her own right politician who has a really good way of connecting with the public. It's for Kate to decide what Kate wants to do, and then it's for members, if there was a contest, to decide who the leader would be. But I'm gonna back whomever becomes the SNP leader because I'm a team player. I believe in party unity, and I believe the public expect that of us. They don't just want infighting. They want to know that their politicians are focused on their priorities, not just their own.
Back already. I mean, she hasn't even declared she's running in the race yet. Possibly might not. But there's already been some pretty vicious pieces in the press, especially this morning, about her private religious beliefs ruling her apparently out of public office. Is that something you agree with?
No, I don't. I think it's really unfair, actually. Kate has very, very strong views, personal views, conscience views. I don't agree with them. I am a very liberal guy who is not religious in any way, shape or form. John is obviously a deeply devout Christian himself. But you're allowed to disagree. It's how you disagree that matters, Harry. In
how
politics.
You disagree, though? But would you be happy to serve an SNP leader who doesn't believe gay people should get married?
Kate's outlined previously that she wouldn't seek to change the law in that regard. The law in Scotland is very clear. That would hopefully provide reassurance to those if she ever did become, to those people who are concerned about that, if she ever did become the party leader. But look, we're a long way away from that happening. The horse that I want in the race and I hope is in the race is John Swinney.
In the race for a nice short period of time, a nice stopgap until as we said, the Stephen Flynn show takes over. I didn't hear a denial there.
Are you starting rumours, Harry, on
That's
this?
what we like to do on this show. Just while I've got you, Stephen, just while I've got you, I'm going to ask you one very, very important question. My last question. Do you still want the famous SNP camper van to tour Europe with the Toon Army? The Tartan Army, sorry.
Not the Toon Army,
the Tartan Army.
Yeah.
I've had my coffee.
I've got my ticket. I've got my tickets sorted for all the games in the Euros, the ones that we're in so far. But when we qualify, I'll get those tickets for the quarter, semis, and finals as well. Hotel prices are through the roof. The Tartan Army knows this. If we can help out with the camper van, then why not?
Stephen Flynn, no denials there either. Lovely to see you. Thank you for coming on Never Mind the Ballots, and good luck.
Cheers, Harry. Take care, man.
Now, to chew that all over and read the runes up north, the Scottish Sun's political guru, Chris Musson. Chris, welcome to Never Mind the Ballots, your debut. Stephen Flynn says the man that looks set to replace him is John Swinney, and a political opponent should be shaking in their boots. Is that how you remember his last stint as a leader?
I'm not sure. Shaking or quaking in the boots is what the SNP's opponents will be with Swinney. I mean, there was a poll out overnight which showed that the contrary, that Kate Forbes is actually more, the other potential candidate is actually more popular with the public than John Swinney. Now, John Swinney obviously is extremely experienced, and he's known, and this is a kind of received wisdom that John Swinney is a safe pair of hands, but I'm not sure about that. And he's yesterday's man, and he'd retired a year ago, and now we're expected to believe that it's the resurrection, and he's coming back, and he's going to save the day. But he was education secretary for 5 years and presided over a decline in education standards in Scotland. He's been dogged with multiple controversies, and it's hardly chimes with the old SNP progressive, forward-thinking nature that they like to espouse.
Do you think he'll be a bit of a stopgap between, get them through the general election, get them to the Holyrood elections, and see what happens after that? Is that the sort of feeling? He's a sort of a caretaker, safe pair of hands?
Well, that's the feeling, yeah, and that Stephen Flynn, who obviously you've just had on, is going to be the man who's ushered in.
He didn't deny it. He did not deny it. It was a masterstroke in not denying something.
Yeah, quite. So I mean, he's seen as kind of the next anointed one by the party establishment. But the big thorn in the side here is Kate Forbes, who has made it perfectly clear she fancies another run at some point. Whether that is now remains to be seen.
Do you think that Swinney would give her a job if she doesn't, if she sort of dangles the prospect of a contest but then pulls out? Do you think she's time for her to return to the front line?
Well, that is the plan. And if I were Kate Forbes, I would do that, because I wouldn't want to take over the party right now. Our front page today in Scotland is about the headline is "Deal or No Deal," and we're basically saying that there is a deal on the table, and this is the plan: is to have Swinney and Forbes cutting a deal. But at the moment, she's not committed to that. So.
And Labour must be, finally enjoying themselves up there, watching the SNP implode.
Yeah, I mean, they're already getting more popular in the polls, and they're slightly ahead now by the looks of it than the SNP, which is remarkable given the last decade. But in one way, I think they might have liked Humza Yousaf to stay in post, because, we've seen over the last year, despite his best efforts, and he was extremely energetic as First Minister, he's got less and less popular. So, the idea of someone else coming in, they're going to probably be more popular by default than Humza Yousaf. But, on the flip side, there's all the chaos, which Labour will be dining out on. So it's unclear, the electoral impact of this change. There's pros and cons for Labour, but they're certainly in a much, much better place than they were, even a year ago, let alone back in 2015 when they crumbled to one MP.
Exactly. Well, listen, Chris, we'll leave it there. Keep us posted in what is going to be another mad year in British politics. But lovely to see you. Love your new office.
Cheers, Harry.